I wish I knew sign language. I could help you. Here I was worried about my eyes puffing. Okay. Are we talking? Okay. All right. No. If you're asking me if I can hear you, no. I'm getting pretty good with reading lips, though. Okay. Maybe you could type the question. I don't know if you can do that. They can hear me. Okay. So I guess if you can type me a question, I can start there. Do you want to do that? Okay. Thank you, Star Nations. I'm glad you can hear me. All right, so. See anything coming up. Meg. Tell us how you enjoy writing. Oh, yes. Well, in the beginning, I didn't really consider myself a writer. I kind of probably still don't. It was a little intimidating. But when I got into it, with the good editors that helped me out a lot, I became a joyful process for me to express my journey with spirit, and everything that I was learning and discovering, the infinite grace that I have found, being able to put it into words. It also helped me process a lot of what I was learning, because the subjects that I would pick under the list of things that was in the theme of the magazine, I would start to channel, and then from my channeling would then research things to make sure that the channels were clear, and I learned how to trust spirit and how to trust my own inner guidance and my own channels. And I love writing because I discover so much about myself, but that I am able to express my own soul's expression. And so I enjoy it. I enjoy seeing it on paper, and I look at it as, for me, a time capsule for my children and my grandchildren, so that they can always know who I was and how I was in my own spirituality. Yes, thank you, Janice. I'm glad I'm coming through because I can't hear a word. But Neshi's doing very good helping me. Okay. I'm not. Not me. No, I can't. But there you go. Sorry. Of course you can hear me loud and clear. Yep. Oh, somebody else has no sound. Okay, can't hear Neshi. Somebody just said they can't hear me. Oh, you said that. Tell us about your work with Akashic Records. Okay. My work with Akashic Records started back about 5 years ago, maybe 6 now. I was learning a lot of different modalities. I was doing massage, a lot of energy work, And for me, when I touched the body, I started getting a lot of messages and visions of past lives for people. I didn't know at the time that I was entering into the Akashic Records, and didn't really understand what the phenomena was, just that the information was helpful to the client. And got into a bookstore and happened to see a book that Linda Howe had written, and that a workshop was coming up. And it was like one of those little God winks that told you, hey, you need to learn this. And it spoke to me. I didn't understand why it spoke to me until I started to take the classes. As I took classes, I realized the incredible healing that I received, but also I had an understanding. It put all my modalities into perspective. So I was doing hypnotherapy, neuro-linguistic programming, learning about that, taking college courses about the brain, and learning all different kinds of our systems, our spiritual centers, physical centers, the brain, the mind. And then I began to learn that, the consciousness of connecting with the records brought me to a very pure place. And I started to understand that, everything this consciousness was, it was this living, breathing energy field that was set in motion from the time we were conceived as a soul. And that, it was full of infinite wisdom. Just taught me a great deal about how to discern, and the field of grace. And so I then continued on through my studies with her to become to teach it. And the more I became to teach it, the more I started to build my own, as I went through that process, learn my own relationship with the records. And I believe that it really helped me learn how to evolve as a soul. Because there's two parts there's the part of the soul that is, not mutable. And so it always stays constant and the same. It's your spark. It's, how you came upon God. Then there's the other part that is very moving. It's your story. It's your journey. It's all your lifetimes here. It's, trying to have that self-realization here on this earth, but also the realization of who you are as a soul and how God created you. So all those journeys and all those lessons, is all recorded there. And every time we heal a certain part, because there is no time or space, it's we don't have that linear time. So when we go into the records and we connect with a past life, and usually what will happen, the lords of the records guide you. You bring a question, you bring an issue, a situation, a block, and the information that is given to you is for your highest good. It always comes through the heart, pathway through the heart. So perhaps, you get brought back to a past life. If you can bring healing into that understanding, that higher consciousness of understanding, then you can continue to heal the present and therefore then heal whatever is into the future. So there's so many infinite possibilities with the Akashic Records. And I am an energy kind of geek. I like to understand the energy of the mind, how it perceives things, and then take a situation, and I follow all the pathways of energy that I've been, learned about, and then analyze the big picture that you bring to me with an issue. And I will go through all the scenarios energetically to help you change your perceptions, so you have a better understanding. So it kind of complements all the other things that I do. It's the thing that kind of brought everything together for me. Is that okay? Okay, good. Sounds like. Okay. How do you blend your work with your articles? Well, every time I write an article, the research I do, I'm led to grow So a lot of times the articles will bring in experiences for me that I bring into my own awareness, perhaps my own soul growth, my consciousness. The team of beings that work with me, this energy, these energy fields of loving beings, are here to help me. And so when I write, it brings this energy down in through me, helps me ground a lot of my concepts that I'm learning, because God is so infinite over here, and to bring it like into that finite piece of me, the writing is that physical grounding. And lots of times, thank goodness for the editors, because we have like we have to keep it under a certain amount of words to keep a magazine, right? And literally, when I start to channel my ideas or whatever, I'll get like about 5,000 words. I know, they'll pass out. And then try to cream it down into something. And having the Sharon and the other girl's name is forgetting me at the moment, helped me bring those words even down further to articulate them, because I do have like a little bit of a learning disability. So getting this consciousness and understanding that I have and putting it into those words. So for me, the articles, I use most of my articles, like the kindness versus nice, actually develop, a workshop to teach women about that concept. And those concepts came in at a very higher consciousness for me. And so each time I do an article and whatever, it just always seems that I'm going through a knothole, like, going through a big growth spurt. And I get through that, squeeze through that nice knothole. And then I have this huge, great consciousness that comes. So every time I'm apprehensive about writing an article, is it going to be good enough or whatever? And then it just somehow works out that I actually receive some type of healing. And hopefully that energy is, transmuted to others, whatever that energy is they're feeling, or whatever that they need, because I know that a higher consciousness of understanding comes in, and people may possibly receive that, whatever they're ready to receive, how they're ready to receive. So it's fun. I'm watching it grow and learning the connections as I go. So it's fun for me. So I appreciate the opportunity, although I kind of, was a little really apprehensive about my ability to convey my thoughts. So, mm-hmm. So we all have been apprehensive when we started to write articles. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've learned that from, it's been a wonderful, just this experience, because everybody's been so supportive, and it's not intimidating or anything. It's really fun. Right. And that's the heart of the magazine, right? And when I read other people's articles, I feel the energy from them, and I get excited, and it just feels like you're coming home and you're just with this big family, and this community of, it's safe, it's so relatable, and then all of the information in the articles are also extremely useful. Like, I learn from the magazine every time I open it. It's just such a well-rounded, vast, I think Dana used to call it like a volume of, where you put it on your bookcase. And I agree. It's it's awesome. Yes, you are a very eclectic spiritual magazine. I think everybody that writes for it is eclectic. We take bits and pieces of everything, and I think that's what's beautiful about it. In order to understand God, we have to take him out of any kind of certain box. in order to explore God, her and his way, whichever, how we want to define that, the masculine and feminine, that, I even learned, because I was Catholic and God was a boy. And, now I've understood, and I can enjoy the Mother Mary in a farther, more expansive divine feminine. Been so empowering for me and exciting. And it's funny because, my teacher always mentioned she taught a lot of Catholics. And now that I'm starting to kind of begin my own teaching, Catholics are now coming to me. And so it's a comfortable place for me to be because I still love being Catholic, but the expansion that I've gone through with my spiritual studies has only enhanced and helped me, like I said, kept God in a box before, and the ability when I went to adoration asking, I was in church before I started all this, and I just said to God, I know you're here in this church, but I know there's so much more of you, and I'm ready. I'm ready to learn, and I'm ready to understand what that means. And I did say, I put in the precedents, but I don't want to be a nun, and I don't want to give up my family or my home. And so I don't know what that all means and how that's going to work because I'm a girl and I want to learn more about you and I want to get closer to you. And within 2 weeks after that, I just had this huge, flood of awakening in 2010, and kind of never stopped for me. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as well. Mm-hmm. Yep. So it was five. I was in the spiritual realm for 5 years at that point. Still learning lots of things, and then met you guys, and I was praying for a home, a spiritual home, because in this spiritual business, I thought that I would immediately be welcomed into some kind of something. I don't know what I was thinking. It wasn't very practical of me. And thought that, it was going to be nice, and there was going to be no competition, and there was going to be love, peace, and light, and, learned the hard way, and then stumbled, I feel like you guys fell out of the sky for me. And once I met, everybody, even though I don't know, you guys we're all spread out, right? We're all over the place. But there's this incredible connection. And it could be just a couple text words, or, when we have the meetings, the big meetings where we talk on the phone, the conferences, or just listening to each other's shows, reading each other's articles. There's just that connection. It's family, and literally starvation's falling out of the sky. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. That's so true. Really. But it's just, I can't explain the connection, and it's just that wonderful peace, and that support to just do your work, whatever it is you do, will support you, and it's a beautiful, beautiful group. And I love meeting all the different people when you get an opportunity to, and someday I'm going to get out all your guys' way to enjoy your centers and stuff, but, that would be a dream for me, yeah. Yeah. You're welcome, and I'm sorry about the sound and all that. You're welcome. You are welcome. I love you, Nesh. Thanks. It was a wonderful night. And if I could just have a shout out for my friend my best friend yesterday went into the hospital with emergency surgery. She's recovering. And if she's awake and listening, because she might be, I just wanted to send her my love. And she's doing better. So Thank you for letting me just give a shout out to her, Nesh. I appreciate it, because I at least know she can hear me. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you for praying for her. I know the power of the prayer, and I appreciate that, because she could use them. Yep. She's a lovely person. So, okay. Thank you, Neshi, so much. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Kelly. You know what besties are. Last words to our audience. Me? Want me to give last words? If you have any questions or anything you want to learn about the Akashas, you can certainly know how to reach me through Star Nation Advisors. I do plan on having a little more schedule into when I am online, so that people can get used to that. And that is at www.starnations.org, which Neshi nicely put up. And email me at discoveringinfinitegrace@yahoo.com for any kind of questions you may have on shows. And I am on the last Thursday of every month at 8 p.m. And I enjoy doing that as well. I just wish everyone the best. And if they want to learn about the Akashas, please contact me. I can help you with finding the books you need, or if you want interested in Linda Howe's online courses. So thank you so much. I really appreciate this. I feel like Charlie Chaplin. Or one of those. Yeah, you get it. Mm-hmm. Am I supposed to read that? That just pops up, right? Okay. Bye. Thank you. Have a good day. Night, actually. Peaceful night to everyone. Peace out, yes.